A warning to our listeners and viewers. We begin today's show with a story that includes graphic details of sexual violence. On October 7th, a 22-year-old black woman in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, escaped from a white man who she says held her captive in his basement for nearly a month, whipping, torturing, and raping her repeatedly. The woman fled and knocked on a neighbor's door for help after the man left the house to take his son to school.
About 7:30 a.m., I faintly heard a young female saying, "Help me."
Lisa Johnson was the first person to encounter the woman and to help rescue her. She told the Excelsior Citizen the woman was nearly naked as she pleaded for help.
It was actually like an S&M dress. It was plastic, black plastic, very short. It wasn't shorts, it was a dress. That's all she had on, and the duct tape around her neck and the collar. And it was restricted. It was a metal collar. It looked like a shot collar, a homemade one at that. I seen her wrists were pretty messed up and her ankles. Asked what she needed. It was obvious. I didn't really have to ask at that point. I just started looking. First thing I did was tell her I was calling the police. That kind of agitated her. She told her that if I called the police, that he would kill both of us if he found out. She said he already killed her two friends that she was with.
The woman who escaped said,
Shalom, shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. My name is Ibar from the Prophets of Babylon camp down here in Tampa, Florida. And I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. And you just heard that story of a so-called black woman that had escaped from a white man's basement. Okay, he was a suspected white supremacist who said that there was a race war going on. And he had already killed two of her other friends. Two of her other Jake friends, and they said that he had her in the basement for about a month, okay, and he had a fucking homemade shot collar on her, okay. This is happening all over America and all over the world, and it's only going to get worse. And he didn't take her to no damn ghetto. He didn't take her to no abandoned house. He took her to the suburbs in his basement, okay. All hell is breaking loose, and our people, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians who have not sought Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, you're about to be preyed upon, man. You are about to be preyed upon. You are already being preyed upon. And these devils, these Edomites, these devils are going to show you who they are. So before I go any further, let me grab this, because this is a terrifying story. This could be anybody. This could be somebody that we know. This could be, your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter. She was 22 years old. She said that this Edomite had already killed two of her other friends. Now, the worst part about this story is that the Jakes in the neighborhood, in the area, were telling the cops what was going on and how these girls was going missing, and how there's a serial killer on the loose. But the cops was denying their claims. The cops saying that the cops pretty much were saying that they was making up shit. Pretty much the cops was covering for this guy, man. Okay, and this is happening all over the world. But it shows you that we are the ones who need to be saved. We are the ones that need to be saved, man. These Edomites in these other nations, they're not going through nearly as much hell as Jake is going through. Okay? But it says, Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9, Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. They're going to go on to say how these girls were, walking, around town, I guess, probably out clubbing. And it's been abducted them. Okay, 3 of them killed 2 of her friends. Probably, was brutally raping and beating them first, and then they eventually died. And she was the only one that survived. And she eventually had to escape on her own. She had to escape on her own. There was no Edomite. There was no Jesus with fucking blonde hair and blue eyes coming to save her, man. Okay, she had to escape on her own. It says, Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. These women are careless, man. walking about, going about, doing their own thing. That woman been 22 years old. She should have been married off with a husband, taking care of a household in the house, not roaming the streets late night to get kidnapped. But these women have become careless. They think that they can just go around, do what they want to do. You got these women that think they're so fucking bad, think that real deep down inside they can beat a man ass. They think that they, especially when it comes to the so-called black man, he can't do shit. But then when these Edomites get on their ass, then they looking for help. It says, "For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins." And was that woman not stripped and made bare? Okay, she was being brutally beaten, okay, and ravished in this Edomite's basement. Now let's hear some more of the story. Let's hear more about this Edomite. Let's hear what he thought.
Said other black women were killed by her abductor. She's not spoken publicly, she's not been named, but she helped break open a story that the Kansas City police had vehemently denied. As community members...
So now out of this story, there's a bigger story coming about how the cops are acting like, Jake is making up stories and lying and just, allowing Jake to be kidnapped and brutally beaten and killed.
Raised alarm that black women and girls were being disappeared in September, possibly by a serial killer. Police responded by saying the reports were, quote, completely unfounded. Some of the concerns were raised in a now viral video by Bishop Tony Caldwell of Eternal Life Church by the independent publication, the Kansas City Defender.
I am a little upset right now. The reason I'm upset is because we got 4 young ladies that have been murdered within the last week here off of 8.
That's 4 Jake young ladies, man. 4 Israelites, okay? 4 Israelites. And this is why YAHAWASHI is to be feared, to be taken seriously. Because if you don't seek YAHAWASHI, you're going to be put to death. And that's for all our people, man. You see, people got a problem with our message and bringing out the word the way we do. But this is fucking real life, niggas. This is real life. This ain't Barney, at 3 p.m., or 8 a.m. in the morning, before you go to school or some shit. This is real life. Jacob's trouble is real. A lot of our people are about to die. Okay? A lot of people are already dying. Okay? Jake feel like this supposed to be some romanticized, work, that we do. We go out there and we got to romanticize to Jake and, try to, expound to him in the most politically correct way. To hell with all that shit. We telling you straight up, this is what it is. All hell is about to break loose. You niggas about to die if you don't repent. You niggas about to die if you don't repent. Niggas is already dying. These 4 girls was snatched up by Edomites. Snatched up by fucking devils. Snatched up by these fucking... Niggas probably a cop. Niggas probably a judge. Niggas probably a firefighter or some shit, man. Second Chronicles chapter 15, verse 13, that whosoever will not seek Yahweh, power of Israel, should be put to death. So if you ain't seeking Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, if you ain't seeking the Lord in truth and sincerity, you're about to be put to death. And that goes for all of our people. That's our message. That's what we telling Jake. No matter what your fucking age is, no matter how you look, no matter where you come from, we telling you, if you don't repent, the Lord is going to kill you. And guess what? Niggas is really dying. It says whether small or great, whether man or woman. You see? Whether man or woman. You got, this whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing came out with it. This motherfucker was killing, homosexual niggas. Okay, and then all of a sudden you got more Edomites coming out about how they taking women and kidnapping them and putting them in the basements and ravishing them. Okay, let me grab that, man. This is Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 11. This is what the slave masters would do to us, man. We would catch hell, and in these different captivities, these devils would be able to do whatever they wanted to our women. Okay, and they even break the men and the boys. It says, Lamentations chapter 5, verse 11, they ravished the woman in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. So that so-called black woman that escaped, she was getting ravished. Okay, that was a woman of Zion getting ravished. You see? It's only finna get worse here, man. This is why you women supposed to be in order to a man. You supposed to be in line to a man. Okay? This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Colossians chapter 3, verse 18. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. You ain't supposed to be roaming the streets, you know, trying to go to this club and that club, because you're gonna find yourself in somebody's fucking basement, man. Okay, you supposed to have a husband, submit to that man as if he because your man is your Lord. Okay. Let me see. Did not Sarah call Abraham Lord? You woman better figure it out. Okay. A lot of y'all ain't gonna get a chance to escape. A lot of y'all gonna die in these situations, man. A lot of y'all are going to rot in these situations. A lot of y'all going to be in a pitiful case. But you know, she got a chance to escape, and that's the only reason why you even got this story. If the cops was to find her their dead bodies and just, you know, it would have been nothing, man. Swept under the rug. It says, Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over you. So you're supposed to have a husband, he's supposed to be ruling over you. That's where your desire is supposed to be to. Not trying to be out there at the club, not trying to be no damn material girl, not trying to be out there be no hot girl, enjoying your hot girl summer. No, your desire is supposed to be to your husband. And this is why you women are catching hell. You women are finding yourselves in all types of bullshit, man. Okay? And it's only going to get worse.
85th and Prospect, we got a serial killer again. And ain't nobody saying nothing. The media's not covering it. We got 3 young ladies that are missing. Ain't nobody saying a word. What is the problem? Why can't we get some cooperation? Where's our community leaders? Where's our activists? Where's our public officials? Where's our police department? Where is those folks at? In President Gardens. Come on now. We need to start knocking doors. We need to start making sure that this is brought to the light. We cannot continue to let this happen.
After that video went viral in September, the Kansas City Police Department spokesperson insisted there was, quote, no basis to support this rumor, unquote. But police have since arrested 39-year-old Timothy Hazlitt of Excelsior Springs, Missouri for kidnapping.
Look at this fucking devil. This is the guy that they had arrested that had the woman in his basement. It was an Edomite. And listen to what he said. Whether you niggas don't realize it or not, they fucking know. You see, the Lord said that his people are sottish, stupid. Our people are dumb and fucking retarded to not understand what's going on. There's already a war been waged against you. They're already killing you.
And torturing the woman who escaped. The Kansas City Defender has reported on his social media post saying they show the sexual predator was, quote, a white supremacist who believed we are in a race war.
What?
For more... The Kansas City Defender has reported on his social media post saying they show the sexual predator was, quote, a white supremacist who believed we are in a race war.
What?
The Kansas City Defender has reported on his social media post saying they show the sexual predator was, quote, a white supremacist who believed we are in a race war.
So you them black women that think that just because a white man find you sexually attractive that he like you. No, these white supremacists will find you sexually attractive and they'll kidnap your ass, lock you up in the basement, and have their way with your ass, man. He said that he felt like he said that we were in a race war, and how he fought in this race war was by kidnapping black women and raping them. This is This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, I'll start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's talking about race wars, class wars, riots, protests, World War III, scrimmages, man. All types of hell is going to start breaking loose, and these nations are going to start turning against each other, man. Especially Jacob and Esau. Okay? It says, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their own power. These crackers going to start going buck wild and just slaughtering Jake, man. And Jake going to start going crazy and killing these Edomites. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because it's going to be a lockdown. You're going to have martial law declared. And then you're going to have the damn martial law troops out here gunning down Jake, man. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which is a modern day gun, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So the Lord is going to, cause a great death and destruction to go out here, man. And our people are going to be caught up in the midst of that. A lot of our people are going to end up dying behind that, man. They're talking about race wars, they're talking about class wars. These people have a perpetual hatred for you, man. And then you got Jake doing fucking 300 videos talking about the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. There's so much other shit you could be talking about. Talking about slandering and calling men rapists and stuff, when you actually got real rapists out here you could be going in on. You actually got real rapists out here kidnapping our women and putting them in basements. But Jake ain't talking about none of that, man. This is why the Lord has going to have to come back and set shit right. The Lord got to come back and kill two majority of our people, because they just too far gone anyways. This is Genesis, and this was all judgment anyways. But Genesis chapter 27, verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, in his mind, in his spirit, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. And that's been their spirit. That's been on their mind ever since, man. They want to destroy us. They want to destroy us, man. Okay? First Maccabees chapter 5 verse 2, it says, wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. This is the same people that, want to see you, gone, man. That's talking about a race war has started. And we tell you niggas this, and you look at us crazy. You look at us crazy. But these motherfuckers understand that, hey, we ain't the same. In their minds, they're already in a race war. But you niggas talking about, let's just let bygones be bygones, let's all be equal. They're not all bad. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 1. Moreover, the word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. We got to prophesy against these crackers. Okay? It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out mine hand against thee. I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahawah, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, which means never ending. They hate us. They have a never ending hatred for us. They do not like you. They hate you niggas. And has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. You see, in the time our iniquity had an end, these devils are still slaying us, man. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it man, him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I actually came across this video because I was just watching the video, and then I was watching one of the brothers' videos, and then once that video turned off, this video came on. So it was randomly I found this video, and I just happened to be, it was overplaying on with my headphones, and I'm listening, and I said, what the fuck is going on? But this is what's going on. You got demons like this around here, man.
For more, we're joined in Kansas City by two guests, Ryan Sorrell, founder of the Black-led independent newspaper, The Kansas City Defender, and Justice
Now
Gatson,
listen to what this
executive
Jake,
director
listen
of
to what this
the
Jake gonna
Real
say. Listen
Justice
to what they say,
Network, a
man.
black woman-led organization based in Kansas City, Missouri. Welcome you both to Democracy Now! I mean, Ryan, your Black-led independent newspaper has been leading the charge on this, as the police department adamantly denied there was any issue until this woman escaped with chains. Can you take us through this story, and not only her story, but she said to the woman who helped her that her friends were killed?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that this is one of the most horrific tragedies that I have ever come across in my lifetime. I know that when we first reported this story, we received it from numerous community members who were making these reports and testimonies, is what we refer to them as. The police department refers to them as rumors, largely because they come from the black community. But we reported these reports and testimonies in mid to late September. And, you know, rather than reaching out to us to understand and get...
And this is going to cause Jake to get roused up, man. Okay? Let me see. It says, Genesis chapter 49, verse 8, Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise, thy hand shall be on the neck of thine enemies, and thy father's children shall bow before thee. Jake is going to get riled up, man. You know, when these stories start breaking up like this, Jake is going to get riled up, and Jake is going to start fucking these Edomites up. It says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. And he stooped down and he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Because once Jake realized that these Edomites feel like that about there's a race war going on and they secretly trying to kill us, when Jake as a majority realized that these niggas gonna lose it. They gonna start beating the fuck out of all crackers. They gonna start snatching crackers out their cars as they drive by. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and until him, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. You see, so the Lord is gonna gather his people, you know, in righteousness, man. Okay, let me grab that, because a lot of our women too, you know, they hate us for teaching this word. They hate what we bring out. They disrespect the men. Like last week, we just had two fucking young girls and a fucking cousin or whoever running up on us, and you got niggas defending that fucking behavior. They ran up on us as we teaching the Bible. No matter what, we ain't run up on them. They ran up on us. Okay. They got offended by some words. You ever heard of saying sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me? So what we say is one thing, but what you do is another, and they ran up on us. Okay, and what happened? Those same girls can be fucking kidnapped out here in somebody's fucking basement, and these same niggas that's defending that behavior ain't gonna be doing a damn thing or even mention a damn thing about it. They're gonna be too busy doing videos about the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, talking shit about the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, than actually do a video, you know, going into these real topics going on, man. A lot of our people, a lot of you niggas that claim to be prophets, with your fucking shirt friends and your fucking garments on, you confused, double-minded men. You are really weak. You are afraid. You see? That's why you gotta go to camp with your fucking guns. We don't go to camp with guns. Okay? We are risking our lives and our freedom to preach this truth. But you got niggas going to camp with guns and thinking they hot shit, and then want to open their mouth against them. And the Lord, the Lord's going to judge you niggas, man. And we gonna see in the end. We gonna see in the end who is the nigga and who was doing the will of the Lord. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 9. I will bear the indignation of Yahawah because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahawah thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her, and Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. And that's what's happening to our women. A lot of your women going to be destroyed, man. You're going to be trodden down as the mire in the streets. You got a problem with the men of the Lord. You got a problem with men, period. You think you is a man. Well, you going to find out the hard way when you got one of these big-ass damn Joe Schmo Edomites, beer belly fucking Edomites on your ass in the basement. Okay? Got your ass tied up with a damn a makeshift shock collar on, man. The devil, the real devil is coming. You niggas act like we the fucking devil, but you're gonna see the devil. Don't worry. You gonna meet him.
Gather more information about where we got this information from, rather than reaching out to the community to understand where these concerns were coming from. The police department, 3 days after we reported this initially, came out and literally just said these are completely unfounded rumors, is what they called them. And as you mentioned, they said that there's no basis to support these claims. And so to me and to us and our community, the number one problem with how the police department handled this situation was that they called it completely unfounded without doing any type of investigation at all. And it seemed, much more like they were actually trying to discredit our community voices and to silence our community voices than to look after what was actually happening in our community. And to us, that's a testament to the type of anti-blackness that is prevalent in our police department, which is also currently under federal investigation for racism and discrimination. And so once these new revelations came out, I actually reached out to the police department to see if they would update their statement or if they still maintained their initial position that our reports were completely unfounded. And they said that they do still maintain, regardless of these new revelations that clearly show that they were wrong. They said that they still maintain their position that what we reported, they said specifically, was completely unfounded. And so we think that this is a larger conversation even beyond this specific situation. We think that this speaks to the silencing, the violent silencing of black women, specifically of the black community at large here in Kansas City. And this is actually something that has been happening since the inception of the Kansas City Police Department. And we know that this is not the first time that this has ever happened.
And Ryan, I wondered if you could elaborate on that, some of the department's legacy of inflicting violence on the black community, and also at times even police officers themselves implicated.
Absolutely. I mean, our police department, as I mentioned, is under federal investigation at this very moment. The federal investigation was launched a little bit over a month ago. Even just this past year,
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 1. It's like verse 8. Salakia. Behold, look, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. We were scattered on slave ships. We were yet this day in our captivity. That the woman was physically in captivity, in fucking tied in a basement with a damn shock collar. It says, for a reproach and a curse. We were put in this captivity for a reproach and a curse. We're under the curses, which will very soon be lifted, and to be subject to payment according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from our Lord. So because of what our forefathers did, which we were our forefathers or foremothers, the Lord is punishing us, and we are this day in our captivity, and we under these devils, these Edomites that make us pay for everything. They overcharge us for everything, and then if you ain't got nothing for them to take, physically, they fucking taking you, okay? This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. It says, ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, ye were delivered unto the nations. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to the Most High, YAHAWASHI. Ye have forgotten the everlasting power that brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. You see, we fell away from our power, from our God, and because of that, we found ourselves in these situations, man. You gotta seek YAHAWASHI where he may be found.
Year, there have been multiple cases where the police department has been indicted for corruption. For instance, this was the case of Cameron Lamb. In that case, it was proven in the courtroom that the Kansas City Police Department planted evidence. They planted a gun and said that it was from Cameron Lamb. In another instance, a man named Malcolm Johnson was murdered in a gas station, and the police department in the official police reports said that Malcolm Johnson was armed and that he was in.
And these fucking devils always lying on their police reports, man. I'm dealing with some shit like that right now. These devils be lying on their police reports, okay? They'll flat out lie on your ass, and then it's your word versus their word, and then you pretty much the one that get fucked. Okay, so the Lord's gonna bring all this to an end. Okay, and we the only ones that's suffering. We the only ones that's catching this type of hell. We the only ones that get treated like this, man. Nobody else get treated like this. If it's your word versus the Edomite's word, the Edomite's word hold more weight in the society. But that's not for so much longer. The Lord's going to set this place upside down. He's going to put us back on top, man.
Engaged in a shootout with the police department, and it wasn't until weeks later when employees of that gas station leaked surveillance footage, they planted a gun and said that it was from Cameron Lamb. In another instance, a man named Malcolm Johnson was murdered in a gas station, and the police department in the official police reports said that Malcolm Johnson was armed and that he was engaged in a shootout with the police department. And it wasn't until weeks later when employees of that gas station leaked surveillance footage that showed that not only was Malcolm Johnson unarmed the entire time, but that he was actually being held down by 3 police officers, and one of the police officers accidentally shot another police officer and then murdered Malcolm. And so this pattern of what's taking place in our city with the police department lets us know that we have no expectation any longer that they have the capability to be able to provide safety for people in our communities. And so that's why people like you'll hear from Justice Gatson from the Real Justice Network, these black women who are creating infrastructure and public safety infrastructure that we can create for ourselves in our community, so that we don't have to rely on this police department that we know is very clearly and blatantly anti-black, blatantly racist, and is currently being investigated for these.
And all these fucking crackers are blatantly racist, man. You know, these everyday Edomites, you know, you go to one of these to their businesses and they're blatantly racist to you. They treat you like shit. They don't treat you like a human. They charge you everything they can charge you for. But if it was an Edomite, you know, they, hi buddy, hi, like they fucking like they family. They know each other their whole lives. You see?
I think so.
Yeah, you mentioned Justice Gatson. I'd like to bring you into the conversation. Welcome to Democracy Now! And could you talk about the Excelsior Springs neighborhood where Timothy Haslett lived, and Prospect Avenue, the area where the 22-year-old black woman who escaped his house was from?
Yeah, sure. So Excelsior Springs is like a suburb of Kansas City. So down on Prospect area, the 80s, that would be considered in the city of Kansas City. And so you'll have to drive out of the city into Excelsior Springs. And so it's a smaller community in Excelsior Springs, a quieter community, and quite frankly, I could see an easier space to get away with something like this. And so, yeah, that's the community, that's the landscape. This woman was snatched off of the streets in the city and driven to a suburb, and forced to stay there for nearly a month. And you know, be the subject of sexual violence and abuse.
Now, Justice,
she was there
this isn't a police
more than a month of being a subject of sexual abuse. Did the cops come and help her? I'm sure her family was crying out.
And when asked about it by Ryan's newspaper, when Ryan himself asked the black-led independent newspaper, the Kansas City Defender, about these accusations that women and girls were disappearing, it wasn't just we're investigating and they dragged their feet. This was them adamantly denying this. And not even taking it back to this point, though they did indict this man, who it's now believed is a white supremacist, this incredibly brave woman saving herself, escaping in chains when he was taking his kid to school. What do you know about perhaps what she referred to, other women who he killed?
The
That
motherfucker
is
was
something
he
that
was living a whole separate life. He was taking his son to school, and the whole time he had a black woman in his damn basement, man,
we
and
are
killed two
unsure, we are
and killed two others of her friends.
unclear about. Like, we don't have that evidence. I believe her. Like, I trust survivors. So I believe her, but we don't know. Like, there have been no reports from the police about any additional women being found. We just don't know yet about that part.
But the overall story and how the white press took the police at its word. I mean, they set the agenda by
Oh
saying
my
this is
God.
completely
That's
unfounded,
Kansas,
as opposed
that's
to we're
Kansas City.
investigating.
I mean, that's what they do. They take the police where they do no real investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I would say journalistic integrity is lacking and has been. It's something that I'm always calling the media out here about, because they do kind of just take the word of the cops and that's what they run with. Our community is ignored. Oftentimes, we're not listened to. I'm not surprised that women and mages, black mages in particular, are silenced. Mages means marginalized genders. And because that has happened, just the disrespect and the tone in which police officers conduct themselves in our community is atrocious. Just the very way they talk to us is unreal. And so that disrespect has been since forever. I mean, I've heard stories growing up. I got to experience my own situations with police. I mean, I told one of your producers the other day about being 15 years old and having the police pull a gun out on me and friends walking down that Prospect Avenue that this happened on. And so, this is very these speak to the traumas in our communities, and they touch us. They touch us in very real.
Yeah, so I shared this video on my page in the community section. You can go finish watching it. But damn, man, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's why we gotta be delivered. We the ones that need to be saved, man. Do you think Edomites got worry about shit like that? You think Edomites deal with shit like that? You know? Nah, man. This is that's why you have something called an Amber Alert. Amber Alert was when a Edomite go missing. They alert the whole world about it. They'll have it on the street signs outside. When you're on the highway, they have your phone binging about it. But let a Jake go missing, you won't hear nothing about it. Ain't no damn damn Sharkeisha alerts or whatever you know. But it says Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10, it says, "For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." The right race as a whole is going to be exterminated. They're going to be completely eradicated off the face of the earth for what they have done unto us. Verse 15, "And for the day of Yahawah is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head," man. So as you devils have done unto us, you're going to be done unto you, and worse, man. You're going to have to pay for this. It says, let me go here. This is Isaiah chapter 14, start at verse 2. It says, "And the people shall take them, you Edomites, and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of their in the land of Yahawah for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors." So those who had us captives, we're going to have you captives. We're going to rule over all oppressors, those of you that oppressed us, Verse 3, "And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahawah shall give thee from thy rest and from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." You see, the Lord gonna give us rest and he says, "Shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." These Edomites don't fear. These Edomites aren't in sorrow. These Edomites ain't in no fucking bondage, man. We are. We the ones catching hell. We the ones fighting just to live a basic life every single fucking day. Not them. Okay, motherfucker was in the suburbs with, my motherfuckers in his basement. So beware, man. Watch out for these devils. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwame Sharella, Abba, Bar, praise, and edifying, the whole full elect. Shalom.